Hi everyone, and welcome to this week's Intuition Insight for week of 3rd of April 2023 with me, Ruth Ann Richards, creator of The Intuition Connection. Each week I post an Intuition Insight with a positive message to help us stay connected to our intuition for the week ahead, because I believe when we're connected to our intuition, we live with intention, we are in flow, and we feel empowered, and I would love more people to feel that way. And this week's Intuition Insight is from my oracle, Reclaim Your Intuition. And the message is communication. So up here you can see it says inner voice, and that's from the voice or the suite of the oracle that it comes from. So this is very much two sides to this message. The first is about the communication with yourself. What is going inside you? And the narrative you are telling yourself. What's the communication you're having with yourself? Many of us have the mind chatter that goes on. It's the narrator that kind of explains everything that we're seeing and what's going on around us in the world. And quite often the one that makes judgments that don't serve us. And it makes judgments about ourselves that are not positive. So what's the internal communication that's happening within you right now? Pay attention to it this week. And if it's negative, take a deep breath, pause, and allow it to move on. And then make a statement to yourself that is the complete opposite and is something positive that you're telling yourself. You don't need to tell yourself all this negative stuff. You really don't need it. So it's about your inner communication, what you're telling yourself. And whatever your mind chatter is that's going on for you, you need to be talking to yourself like you're talking to a best friend, or you're talking to someone you want to support. So you're on notice this week to pay attention to the mind chatter, notice how much it's happening. And if you're in a position to, stop, take a deep breath, and say something positive to yourself instead. Sometimes when I do something a bit silly, I say, "Oh, you idiot, you silly cow, you silly person, you silly girl." And I do it in a joking way, but actually words have power. It doesn't matter whether we're joking or not, words have power. So if you say something like that to yourself this week, if you say, "Oh, you're an idiot, why do you do that?" reframe it with, "I did that because it was the best I could do at the time, and that's okay," and give yourself permission to move on. So think about your inner communication. The second part of the message is about, do you have a difficult communication or a difficult message or something difficult that you have to say to someone this week? And it's difficult because they're not going to like what you say. Maybe you're saying no because you're putting some boundaries in place. Someone has asked you to do something, and you, for whatever reason that's right for you, you may not be physically able to do it. You may not have the mindset to do it. It may not be actually your action to do. You're saying no to someone. This is a reminder that when you're communicating with other people this week and talking to other people this week, the inner voice needs to come from the heart. So speak from the heart. Now, if that feels vulnerable and you think someone's going to take advantage of you, you're wrong. It's as simple as that. Whenever you speak from the heart, you will feel better for yourself. Someone else's reaction, you cannot judge, you cannot be responsible for. You can only be responsible for your pure, is the word that comes into my head, your pure communication that comes from the heart. So if you have to say no to someone this week, you just say it. You asked me to do this. No, I can't do that for you at this time. You don't have to say, "I'm sorry." You don't even have to explain or justify why, unless, there's an absolute need to do so, or someone asks you why, and you feel like you want to explain. So whatever your difficult message is this week, it doesn't have to be conflict. You don't have to scream it, shout it, be in conflict about it. And it's the divine feminine energy that's coming through of, "No, I'm not able to do that for you at this time." It's coming from the heart. It's what's the best for you. And it's saying it in a way that doesn't have to be confrontational or in conflict. Say it with me now. "No, I'm sorry, I can't do that for you at this time." You may have to adapt that depending on what the difficult, messages, difficult communication you're having is this week. But remember, it's only difficult because you're choosing to make it difficult. You're choosing to worry about what the other person's reaction is, and you have no control over that. All you can do is speak it from the inner voice, from your heart. So 2 messages this week. You've got a twofer. Pay attention to your own inner voice and how you're communicating to yourself. Notice and change it if you need to. And when having difficult conversations this week, or if you've been putting off having a difficult conversation and the time has come to do it, you do it from your heart centre. You do it from your inner voice, from that place of love and compassion, while holding your own boundaries firmly. Wishing you a wonderfully intuitive week, and I'll see you next week. Bye.